So, today's video I'm going to talk about is my own sort of health journey over the last years or so, or how I got to where I am now and my purpose and intention behind it. And first of all, just to introduce myself, as if you know me and you're on my page, then I'm Paul from Belfast. I've went through a lot of mental health issues, and which includes the likes of learning disabilities and also dyslexia. Also depression and anxiety, and I've grew up through different types of trauma. One of the areas I want to talk about is my actual physical sort of health, weight, and how it impacted me, and where I'm at now and what sort of stuff I'm doing now regarding that. So first of all, whenever I look at back, like my formative years when I was younger, my weight was always quite skinny and lean, and that I was hit up until about my 20s. In my 20s, I probably was still about 10 stone, and it wasn't until I went to do some physical labour and worked in a different area where I had a better diet and a better sort of work-life balance, and I was able to put some weight on, and I was also training and doing some other stuff that I realised I got myself up to about 12 stone. And it was interesting. I was playing football with some friends, and I could feel like my pecs and sort of muscles moving while I was running, and I think and then at that stage, my muscle was quite similar and stayed quite strong up until probably my late 30s, about 30 up to about 35. I think it was about 12 stone or around 85 kilos. Based on my height and size, and my BMI was sort of like on par up until about like 30, 35, 36, and my metabolism sort of slowed down at that stage, and I started putting sort of probably more weight on, and a lot of my jobs and work that I was doing from that stage on, actually it was a lot of office based stuff, so I was doing a lot of sitting around and not being as mobile, or not being as active as what I used to at that stage. And I want to sort of fast forward and look at this actual year, because it was quite significant in my weight gain loss sort of story in a way, and what I've done and my health. So this year, like a lot of this year, I spent most of my year working in a call centre, about 40 or 38 hours or something. A lot of it was spent sort of on sitting down. Even when I was on my lunch, I would stand up, walk to the lunch and get my lunch and sit back down again and go out. So I wasn't walking a lot, and I've put on a good bit of weight up until probably about June or July. Around June or July time there, I was probably over 110 or 100, about 110 kilos, which is something like 15 stone. I'm currently I haven't weighed myself in a while, but I'd say I'm around 95 for stone, and going on my height, I'm just up on 180 centimeters, and sorry, that like keeps changing, and yeah, so they. Do you know what? I was going to cut the light changing thing out, and then but I'm actually just keep it in, and I'll sort of moving motion and all that sort of stuff. I'm keeping that in, and the reason why is because it's more authentic, and it's more but connected to who I am. and how I speak. I am a bit jittery, person. So that's just put that in there as well. Um, I'm going off topic. So the main sort of point I'm trying to get at with my health over the last sort of actually couple of months is that at one stage there I had changed location and I lost my job, and I was left sort of in at a coastal area for a couple of months where it almost made me have to walk a lot, and I found myself like walking something like 40 to 15 minutes, probably once or twice a day. And jump with the kids, keeping them active because they were at school, and it was the summertime. Um, and then it was just like, where I was living, my accommodation was upstairs at the top of a building, so it still is. And I had to find myself just walking a lot more. Um, But another thing kind of came up was my mood, emotions, food, and food and impact. And one of the things that I made an intention to cut back on was my sugar intake, as well as as walking extra. So that meant I took sugar out of the likes of my coffee. Actually, initially I stopped drinking as much as and fizzy drinks or eating treats a lot like bars of chocolate. Now, while I was working in the call centre, I would find myself during those days I would have my coffees, like three or four coffees in a day, with sugar in every coffee. I was having probably per day I was having 2 or 3 fizzy drinks and 2 or so bars of chocolate a day. Now the fact that I was only only around 100 kilos is amazing. I could have been, I would say, I should have been a lot heavier. I think it's still a lot down to my metabolism. Now, so I remember at that the stage when I was at, I can't. I just was feeling low. I was feeling down, and you think you would turn more to some of these things when you're like this. And I was thinking, do you know what? I actually feel like these things, these sugars and these drinks and stuff, and all that stuff was actually causing me to be lower, to be sicker. As my skin was going really mad at the time as well, so I was like, I tried medicines and creams and a lot of that other stuff to help my skin, and it kept kind of coming back. It kept coming back. I was talking to a friend at the time. We were talking about diet and nutrition, and cutting stuff out could help my skin, and the mood, and so it just came to a point where I just initially just cut it out sugar out of coffees and things like cereals and fizzy drinks, and does that now still something it's got into a habit. It's also having a big lunch as well. I would most days I'm now eating so like eggs, some meat, and sort of like noodles, or for my lunch I would have it's actually very similar and very consistent, and it'd be quite heavy. Some might say it's a heavy lunch, but actually feels that you're filled up and you're sustained for hours. Um, I've I've cut out a lot of sweet stuff, sugars. I actually got to the point now, but at this point, initially whenever I first started cutting back on the coffee, I was just drinking a lot of coffee, but with no sugar in it. Now I've got to the point where I drink probably 2 cups of coffee a day, if even, and a couple of and probably a tea a day, if even, without any sugar in it. I kind of got to the point where without the sugar in without the sugar in it, I felt without sugar in my coffee, the desire to drink coffee wasn't there. When you start cutting out sugars, you don't crave them as much, and you don't want them the same way as and I have to like I don't know how to see, but my weight is I've dropped a good lot of weight. I'm feeling stronger. I'm not feeling as lethargic, and my energy levels are higher. But the only problem is I probably could do more with my energy. And that in a nutshell, this is where my journey has been. I feel that I feel like there's more I can go into, and I definitely do for the next. I think over the next year, I want to develop this further, learn more about the nutrition of it, speak to experts in these fields, to share and talk. I keep saying this, but guys, if we can get on here, we can to talk to interview a few people, and if you have if you're an expert in nutrition, um, and that, please subscribe, join, but we can create a better movement. Thank you.